Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing on this lovely, brightish summer day? How is everyone? Wow, it's been a while. I feel like it's been a while since I've been here, but it's nice to see everyone. I hope you're all having a good time, a good day, and let's see who's around. Let's see who's here. So let's have a quick look at what we're doing. Bear with me one moment. Just bear with me one moment while we just check everything because we know how technology likes to play games with us. So here we go, 2 seconds. Where are we? There we are. Hopefully this will make sure we go through to Facebook as well. So what's everybody up to on this lovely morning? How's it all going? Let's just see what's going on here. Just waiting for everything to connect up. There we go. Hello. Oh, hello, Anastasia. Good morning. Good morning to Rachel from a glorious, warm and sunny Barrow. Nice. Don't know what happened there, a bit technical. Good morning, Jan. Good morning. Wow. From Pennsylvania. Oh, that's a thank you. Just quickly in I go. Bye. Okay, bye. Oh. So, my coffee was being delivered. So yeah, early Pennsylvania. So how early is it in Pennsylvania, Barbara? It must be really early. Okay, so yeah, just sorry about the slight delay. We were having to just connect to Facebook. We do like to keep us on our toes. So we've got a really lovely project for today. We've got these beautiful cord and gemstone wire wrapped bracelets. So these are going to be really lovely project, especially for the sort of summer season that we are in, and of course the festival season that's up and coming. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Barbara. Wow, fair play. So we've got Mel from cold Australia. Wow. Is it your winter now in Australia? Because you're like the flip of seasons to us, aren't you? Hi, Jan. My daughter looked amazing in her prom dress. Thank you, Jan. She did look really pretty. She did. So that's done and dusted now. That's why she's mooching about, because she's still so she finished school a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, she's now just mooching about, watching lots of TV, enjoying a little bit of freedom before she starts round 2 in college. Oh, thank you, Anastasia. 5 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia, across the pond. Wow. Good morning, Amelia. Yes, it is. Good morning, Camille. Sunny here finally. I hope you're well. Not too bad, thank you. Hope you're all good as well. Wow, it's lovely to see everybody coming in. Lovely to see where we're all from all around the world. It's always lovely to see. I love the fact that we can all connect in this way. It's really, really great. So let me go ahead. Oh, good morning, Nina. Sunny Leicester. See, that sun is kind of trying. Like, it's like, look, you can see the light a little bit here. It's kind of coming across. It's just, you know, when you get that lovely blue sky, it's that tinge of grey. That's where we're at. That's where we're at in Bristol. Lovely blue sky with a tinge of grey. We know it's going to possibly rain. Good morning to Judith. Oh, it's so lovely to see everybody here. Okay, so why don't I go ahead and show the project that we're going to be doing today. Good morning, Natalie. How are you? These are lovely summer makes. They really are. I was thinking festival, you know, and these are great projects to do with your sort of any age as well in the school holidays coming up. Hi from Michigan. Wow, we are coming from all over, aren't we? Good morning, Judith. Oh, it's so lovely to see everyone. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera on just so you can see the makes up close, because I hold them like this, you're not really going to get to sort of see them properly if I do this. So I'm going to switch the camera over, going into my DJ mode, and let you see these makes. Kayla was coming in because she was delivering me a nice hot, fresh coffee. So, you know, she has a uses. Let's have a little look at what we've got going on here. Good morning. Is it Zakaya? Good morning from Michigan. Amazing. We are from all over, aren't we? Oh, where did I go? Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't do the swap. There we go. Okay, so we will be doing today these beautiful, kind of a bit mixed media, because we're using this lovely cord and lovely mix of gemstones here to make these lovely, I don't think like festival, they just make me think you can stack them if you wanted to. And again, I think great for any age, you know, anybody really. I think anybody could wear these. They were great if you wanted to, especially I think with schools changing, you know, we've got children transitioning from secondary school to college, from primary school to secondary school. These are great friendship bracelets as well to sort of, you know, this celebrates that friendship. You can all wear the same one, or you can mix and match them a little bit. So these are the bracelets that we're going to be doing today, and I am going to go ahead and show you how you can get these lovely kits and what's in these kits. So what I might do is go ahead and just show you what is in these kits, because oops, it's nice to see it, and I can show you on the website as well. So you will get enough in these kits to make 2 bracelets and have leftovers. Okay, you get so much in these kits. They're absolutely great value for money. So we have 4 different colorways, so you can see them here. I might have a little bit of paint on me. I was trying to get all the paint off, but I've been painting over the last couple of days, so that stuff gets everywhere. So you can see here we've got the 4 different colorways. We've got the red, we've got the sort of this is the red and gold, then you've got the black and blue, you've got the sort of bronze tones, and the sort of lighter tan color as well. You have your findings on the end, and you have your matched colored wire to go with this. So let's look. So for the first one I'll show you, which is the one I will be demoing with, which is the lovely blue. You will get this lovely, I feel like I'm saying lovely a lot today. We've got the black cord. I will check the measurements on this cord in a moment, but we've got the black cord. Now I've already made one bracelet. I've got this one just set in, just so ready for when we do the demonstration. So I've already gone ahead and put the end on this one just to try and get the glue to dry a little bit before we actually go ahead and demo with this one. But you will get 2 pairs of the clasp endings. You will get your beads, and you will get some wire. So the wire that you get will be matching. So in this one we will be getting the black wire, and it is in a 0.4. You then get your 3 strands of beads. I have got to be careful because I am that person that does not secure my strands of beads before I put them back in the bag. So I will show you, and we're just going to be a bit careful when getting these out. Good morning, Elaine. How are you? Okay, so you get these lovely, beautiful little hematite. I mean, look how much I've got left, and I've done 1 bracelet already. So you've got enough to do 2 bracelets, and I've used that much of a strand. So not only will you do 2 bracelets, but you've got enough there to make, I love these as a stretchy bracelet. So look at that. For me, I would make that into a stretchy bracelet, definitely. So you have your hematite discs. You have your little microfaceted crystals. Again, in this really lovely color, just trying to find the end. There we go. And again, look at how much I have left. Look how much, again, stack of bracelets. Imagine if you have this. Let's just go ahead and do this, and your bracelet as well. So you could make stretchy bracelets and have your corded bracelet and stack them up. So again, you've got all of these left over, and then you have these little, I think they're like glass pearls here as well in the blue. Again, another full strand. Look at this. So this is all of your kit, your wire, your cord, your beads, enough to make 2 bracelets. So let's go over to the website and have a look. I had the website up, but I have obviously shut it down because that would have been, you know, would have been too organized for me to have had it ready. So let me just move all of this out of the way so that we've got a nice idea exactly of what we're looking at. So I'm just going to place these here so we can just got a nice, rather than just a pile of beads. And then let's have a look at the actual website. So I shall share my screen with you all. Come on. Didn't want to play the game for me. There we go. Right. So over to totallybeads.co.uk. And you want to go down to video tutorials. And you'll see all of our social media links here. And then you'll see our past and current projects here. So the one that we're looking at today is the wire wrapped leather bracelet. You do, of course, get your tutorial, which is on YouTube and on Facebook, on the social media links again, which is where you're watching it now. And then you do have your 4 different colorways. So normally these kits would be $11.99, but today they are $9.99. And you will have a little look. This is the one that we were looking at a moment ago, and you will see you get your free meal. That's what I was waiting for, the measurement of the leather cord. So this is leather cord, and you get 3 mils of that. Sorry, it's a 3 mil thick. Now you get enough to make 2 bracelets, and you still have some leftovers. You get your 0.4 copper wire. It will be in a coordinating color. So in this case, it will be black. You get your hematite rondelles, your crystal rondelles, and your glass pearl 4 mil rounds. You also get 2 kumihimo clasps because they are perfect for putting this cord into. So you get all of this lovely kit. Look at this. How cool is this? So you get all of that for $9.99. So you will get that. Oh, look, it's named after me, Laura, wire wrapped bracelet. You then get your brown and green. So again, the same materials, but you get your brown cord, like your sort of nice brown, and then you get your nice sort of light tan colored wire. Then you get your hematite crystals, rondelles, your crystals, your glass pearls, and your 2 kumihimo clasps. You get your brown and rainbow, so it's slightly darker color leather cord. You get the brown color wire. You get the same in the beads, but again color coordinated. And then you get the gold and red. So same again, red cord, red wire, and your gold beads. So those are $9.99. You have enough to do 2 bracelets in this style, plus tons and tons left over. Okay, Rachel, I'll be going into the glues and stuff that I've used in a moment. I mean, so we'll talk about that. Oh, hi. So Natalie, he's very good. He's excited for a school trip to the ice cream farm. Natalie, that sounds very cool. I would like to go to an ice cream farm because I didn't know such a thing existed. So there we go. You learn something new every day. So you've got, as I said, this is the blue version, sort of your blue and black. So I'll leave that there because I do actually want to demonstrate with that. But as we said, we've got the different color variations. So you've got your brown wire, your brown cord, and of course then your lovely coordinating beads, rainbow beads to go with that. Again, love these. You can see how much you have left over. Plus, like I said, I have enough to make another bracelet, plus extras. So we've got the red and gold. I was about to find the red wire, but there it is. Beautiful red wire, red cord. This red leather cord is absolutely stunning. So this is how much I've got left. I'm going to switch my cameras just so you can see. This is how much I've got left. There we go. I can't get in there. We go. And that's with me having already made a bracelet. So I think that's probably about a meter, just under a meter. And that's without me having made a bracelet. I've already made one bracelet. So you have lots of that lovely cord, loads of beads left, loads of wire left. So, and then finally, your slightly lighter color leather cord. We'll switch this back over. Good morning, Anne. How's everybody? How are you? Your light tan, your sort of ivory coloured wire, and again your matching green beads. So absolutely fantastic kits, these. I love them. They're really great fun to work with as well. I'm going to go ahead and just use the blue and the black version. So I'm going to just pop some of these beads, I think, into my little pots so that I don't lose them everywhere. Sometimes they are easier to keep them on the strand because when you're putting it straight onto the wire, it's just easy to take it straight off and straight onto the wire. Just makes it a bit easier to thread. But sometimes, because I'm going to be showing you this, I'm just going to do this to make it a bit easier for me. Oh, I was a bit sensible on one of these. I did actually, not the end, which is always helpful. So has everybody got some good plans for this week? Hopefully everyone had a lovely weekend. I caught up with an old friend of mine on Saturday, which was really lovely. And my daughter obviously had her prom, which was really lovely. She had a really lovely day. She got pampered. She had her nails done. She had her hair done. You know, I'm still recovering from the shock of it, but yeah, no, she's had a lovely day. And then this weekend, my husband and I are off to go glamping on Sunday for a weekend, a couple of days. It was his birthday present last year from me. Obviously, it includes me. So again, I'm just popping some of these into here. So you can see we've got our little beads ready. And we're going to talk about how we can get started with this. So, as I said, you will get these bead ends and you will get your cord, and the two ends of cords go in here absolutely perfectly. So I'll show you just on one that we've already done. Okay, now we're talking about the glues that you use. Oh, I got a bit messy on that one. You will need a glue that will dry clear. And still be pretty strong. So you could use sort of like your super glues and crafting glues, but the one that I've used, just because I happen to have it and it's absolutely fine, just need to be patient and wait for it to dry. So you can use like a Gorilla Glue as well. Like Gorilla Glue have a couple of different, they're a really strong adhesive, and they dry clear. So you want a glue that will dry clear. And you want a glue that obviously bonds to metal and sort of like all materials. So super glue probably would be all right, or your Gorilla Glue. You can get with the Gorilla Glue, there are two different types. So there's a Gorilla Glue that is kind of like a super glue, as it sets really instantly. But then there's another Gorilla Glue that's a little bit more, it's a bit like the E6000, 6000? Is it E6000 or E600? E6000. It's a bit like that, where you can put it and still have a little bit of time for it to work with it before it fully sets. Your E6000 would work as well, but I've actually just used something that I found. I don't know if I got this in the range or, you know, B&M, somewhere like that. Just crafter's pick, the glue that sticks, the ultimate. So it's water-based super glue. It adheres to plastic, metals, plastics, glass, and more, and it dries clear. Crafter's pick. And as I said, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think this might be from like, is it Crafters TV? Yeah. So like not creating. You can get this from any kind of thing. I think it's Crafters TV. So it's because it's Crafters pick. So this makes me think it's from Crafters. So yeah, anything like that. But you just want to make sure that it's got on there the, you know, what I like about this one, water-based super glue, adheres to metals, plastic, glass, and more, dries clear. And so that is what we have got here. And it's, you know, it's pretty. Oh, that one wasn't. I haven't put that one on properly. That's because I did that in a rush. This one's dried this one's dried. So it is important to make sure that you put it on properly and that you don't rush it like I did. So if you do rush it, it's not going to work. You have to be patient with it. Okay. So we will talk about that in a moment. Just about how we can make sure it's on properly. Oops, just making sure we get that on and resetting that anyway. Okay. Let's see what we said. I'll just reset that. That will set. So if you don't set it properly or you are impatient, that will happen. But once it is set, it's fine. I always do these in a bit of a rush. Good morning. I came in late, but good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Natalie. Once I used the Gorilla Glue on a, I thought that said once I read a garlic glue. Once I used the Gorilla Glue on a pebble art box frame and didn't realize I'd accidentally picked up the expanding foam one. But I bet that was an interesting result. So this does set. It does set solid. You just have to make sure that you do, of course, put it in properly, clean around the edges, and allow it time to set. If you don't allow it time to set, it's obviously needs to it's not going to work, but you do need to allow it time to set. I take the lid off and I just sort of bring the glue to the top and dip the ends of the wire in. I will show you when we do the end of this one how I do that. I did just want to go ahead and get that one ready. We'll do this on another one actually. Let's have a quick look. But yeah, definitely just any glue that, as long as it says it will stick to metal, as long as it says it will stick to metal, and all your materials, just read it. Gorilla Glues are great though for that. Yeah, your E6000 would be fine as well. That was just a crafters one that I found. So you want to make sure, what I do to start is I'm going to take the two ends, and I'm not even going to worry about cutting it just yet. Take those two ends, and as I said, you know, dip them into the glue or whatever glue you're using. I'm just going to gently just coat the ends of both those both those cords in that glue, and then just pop it onto your end, and then just use a cotton bud or some cotton wool or a bit of kitchen roll. I tend to use. I am trying to find my cotton buds. There they are. You know when you've got drawers. I knew it was in a drawer, and then just tidy that up. Make it a little bit tidy. It will dry nice and clear, which is great. And what I actually found myself doing was just making sure that I let them dry before I started. So if you know you want to do this as a project, set the ends to one side about a couple of hours before you intend to do it, you know, because then it can fully dry and you'll be able to just go ahead and start. All right, so I've got that placed there. That will dry clear. That's nice and in there. And then once that's dried, that will be fine for me to go ahead and use. So as I said, I would kind of go ahead, prep those first. That's why I did this one a little bit earlier. It may not still be fully dry because it does take a little while to dry. But if you go ahead and allow it to dry, it will be fine. Just reading the instructions. It's always great to read the instructions afterwards. Yeah, I mean, this one you can use as a non-toxic water-based contact cement. So it is a good one. But yeah, it needs to dry before you start working with it. If you start to mess about with it before it's fully dried, you're not going to get that full effect, which is what happened with me. So we've got this ready to go. I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to take quite a nice long length. Now, I'm not going to take as long a length now because I'm demoing, and you don't want to watch me fight with a long length of wire. So I'm just going to take probably about an arm's length. And it will depend as well on how many times you wrap around that wire as to whether or not you need a longer length. So if you wrap a couple of times around the cord before you actually add your beads, then you're going to use more wire. So I'm gonna get this ready. Now this cord, you can see this leather cord has got like a natural curve to it. So I do find it best to kind of go with that natural curve. So I'm going to, before I start, I have a very good way of measuring. I literally just take it roughly around my wrist and get an idea, but you can of course measure it correctly on a board or use a ruler. But what I would say is I tend to just put it around my wrist and get an idea of, is that going to fit? And then I will see, and then I cut it. But if you want it to be really precise, I tend to do this, which is not the best way, but you can kind of see that you still have that extra bit of the cord here. So I don't want it to be meeting. I need to allow for that. But you can, of course, just measure it if you want it to be 6.5 inches or 7.5 inches. Just remember to allow for this section here. So if you wanted a bracelet that was, say, 7.5 inches, maybe do measure how long this section is. Just trying to find my rulers. I lent my rulers to my friend. There we have one there. This is centimeters. But you can see that section is, say, 3.5 centimeters. So I would take that away from my overall end of my bracelet size. So if I had the inches one, which I don't, you know, I would just say that's 2 inches and I wanted a 7-inch bracelet, I would make and cut this to 5 inches. So cut that, and I've still got enough here for me to maybe, you know, you could do with that just a single cord bracelet, something like that. Use some larger hold beads maybe. So have a look at the curve of that wire, because it's easier to go with the curve of the cord. It's easier to go with the curve of the cord than to go against it. So it's no point me making this side the front, because the cord is trying to curve in a certain direction. So it's easier just to go, right, the cord is curving this way, so this will be my front. Okay, so I'm going to take my wire, pop it into the middle, hold it there, and I'm just going to wrap. I'm going to go 1, I'm going to wrap a couple of times just to secure it, 2, and then I've got my wire coming over. I should use a different color wire because you're not going to see that too well. I'll use a different color wire. I think that is the wire you would get with the kit, but I'm going to use a different color wire because you're not going to see that. So let's move that out and put that back. Hi Carol, hi Sheila. Oh, no notification again. Facebook likes to keep you on your toes. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and use the nice ivory color for this, because you're going to be able to see that nicely. A nice length. Remember, this isn't the color that you get in the kit, but of course, if you multi-buy, you'll be able to mix your colors up as well. Okay, so I'm going to put my wire, I'm actually going to put my wire down through the middle, so it's coming over and down towards me, and I'm going to wrap around once and then twice, and then I'm going to bring that wire straight across the back of both those wires. Now I've got a little tail here, and I like to sometimes keep that little tail and wrap it around. We'll cut it at the end, but it just gives a little bit of connection to that end as well. Okay, so straight across the back of both those cords, and then over that top wire cord once, and then over. So you can see it's gone around once, and now it's over the front, and it's sat coming over the front of those cords. So now I'm going to work my pattern out. Now your pattern can change your pattern up, or you can keep it the same. I changed it up a bit on a couple of them. So on this one, on the lighter one, I actually put 3 of the glass pearls, and that just made it a little bit different. I think you'll see that there's a slight difference in the pattern. Where are the other 2? I had them, didn't I? Where'd they gone? I think on this one again, I've kind of just changed them up a little bit, sort of 3s and 3s. Obviously your beads are different sizes, therefore the pattern's going to come out a little bit different if you change it up and down, because you've got your tiny little microfaceted crystals, your hematite discs. There we go. I'll try and find the other one. And you can see on this one I only did 2 of the glass beads, so you know, it's just having a little play about and seeing what happens. So I normally start with one of the smallest, the little faceted crystals, pop that on, drop that all the way down, and just place it so it sits. So you just need to start to open out the cords slightly, and all the time I'm doing this, I'm keeping everything secure. So I'm holding that clasp section, I'm holding this all steady, and then around once, and then literally over and across the back. I'm going to move this out of the way, it's been temperamental. And then up to the top, over, once, up, over the front. Okay, so we want that to sit in that gap. We're starting to widen out these cords, and I'm going to choose, probably I tend to sort of graduate up in the size, so I'm going to take one of the hematite discs and pop that into this little section just here, so it sits just in that gap, and these fit absolutely beautifully in the gaps. And it wants to focus. Come on, camera. There we go. Fits in that gap perfect. Okay, and then you just put that in, and then you want to wrap that bottom cord once, and then straight across the back. And the trickiest thing I think with this one is just keeping your tension quite relaxed, because you don't want to pull these cords in. You need them to have that gap. So I'm just almost with my finger and my thumb pushing and holding this together so that it keeps it stable for me. And then I can go around once, around that top, and then around up and over the top. So we're starting to sit into those 2 wires. I'm then going to add a glass pearl, pop it on, and just sit that into that gap. And already these cords are starting to open out into the easier, because they're being set with those beads. So then go all the way across the back. Okay, and I'm going to wrap the top and then come over that front. So that is my first section. Come on, camera. Okay, so now I'm going to just start to work out my pattern. So I might start to increase it. I tend to go 1, 2, 1s of each bead, and then 2s of each beads, and then I'll go into that full main pattern, and then we just need to remember to decrease it towards the end. So around once, and then sometimes just turn the whole piece over, around, and then turn it over. Now remember, when you are obviously using quite contrasting colors like we are here, your wire is going to be seen, which is the whole point. But if you want to keep it tidy, you might want to just go over it with your pliers to make sure it's tidy. You will note I do have the resident snorer in the studio with me today. She is snoring away in the corner. Oh, I let my daughter put the syrups in. She put so much syrup in. And then I want to go ahead and add 2 of my discs. So 1 and 2. I drop them down. And then around once, and then straight across over to the other side. As I said, you could do this a couple of times, so you could go around 2 or 3 times here if you wanted to. Make the wraps part of the feature, but it's also nice to see, I think, the cord as well. The 2. So it's starting to widen out now. So we're starting to widen it out because we're using slightly bigger beads. 1, and then all the way across, and then 1, and then ready to go. So we're getting that nice pattern building. And now this is where I'm going to start to go, okay, this is going to be my full pattern. So I'm probably going to do 3, probably 4 of these faceted crystals. Okay. I'll pop them on because they're going to fit into that gap nicely. So you'll start to, you might have to put 3 on. You might think, oh, actually, I'm only going to put 3 on because they're going to fit nicely. I might go ahead and do 4. I'm going to go ahead and do 4. And around once, and then across. Try and make sure we don't cross over your wires, that they sit next to each other. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of my discs on. So 1, 2, and 3, all the way across and into that gap. And then now we've got our pattern established. I just probably will do 2 of the glass pearls, because if I put 3 on, I'll show you what happens if you put 3 on. And it is fine, you can of course go ahead and do 3, but it will just change the pattern slightly. And so, for example, on this one, can you see it almost like the cord almost waves a little bit, which is absolutely fine because it's part of that pattern to fit those beads in because they're a little bit larger. So I will pop 1 on just to show you what I mean. So you see how it's quite, you would have to sort of almost encourage those cords to open out around it. So I think for uniformity, it just looks better with 2. And I'm going to put this on. Keeps it a nice consistent width. Okay, so around once and then across the back, around and across. Now I'm going to show you how we can cheat a little bit. If, like me, you get a little bit, you know, want to jazz it up. What I'm going to do is, now I know my pattern is going to be 4, 3, and 2. I can go ahead and actually preload that complete row onto my wire. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can put on my 1, 2, and 3 discs, and then my 2. So 1 and 2. So I've got my next sort of section already loaded. And then as long as you've got a nice length of your wire and you control it, you don't want them to run, you can place them where they need to go into place, and then just wrap around once across the back, wrap around once. This is what happens if you don't watch your tension. See how that cord has dropped down? So we just want to reposition that. There we go. Keep that where it's meant to go. That's why we don't rush it. And then we can drop up the next section. Place them in as we are here. Around across. I think it's trying to rain, you know. It's very grey. And just drop those up. You see how quick this builds as well. We've already gotten sort of halfway there. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. It depends how you like to work, whether you want to just go ahead and load them up in a go, or whether you want to just say, do you know what, I'm just quite happy to add them on as I go. Everybody works differently, and that's what we try to encourage, is just, you know, this is meant to be enjoyable. And again, I think this is something that, you know, anybody could really have a go at. It's a really great project, and I think festivals, as I said, coming up, there's lots of festivals at the moment, so absolutely great for festival wearers. Summer, you're going on holiday and you just want a nice universal piece of jewelry, it's going to be great. You know, blues and blacks are going to go with so many outfits. I'm off to Cos next month. This time next month I will be in Cos, so I'm excited for that, with the first family holiday. And so this for me would be a great sort of staple piece of jewelry, because, you know, when you're traveling, you can't take loads of stuff with you, can you? So this would be a great staple kit for you to take, that's going to go with so many of your outfits. And as I said, you can even stack the bracelets up. You know, you don't have to be like, I mean, you could wear 2 of those together. Those would be a really lovely combo. Stack those up if you wanted to, and add a little stretchy bracelet in the middle. So you can really take this, have a nice staple piece of jewelry that's going to go with everything. And of course, I'm saying about stacking bracelets, you could make matching earrings to go with this if you wanted to. You make yourself a whole little jewelry suite. You get so much within this kit. So I will take you back over in a moment and just show you again. For $9.99, you have enough to make 2 bracelets, including 2 of the Kumihimo clasps to make the bracelets, to finish them. And then you do have 3 strands of beads, hematite discs, your microfaceted crystals, and your glass pearls. And again, full size strands, so you have so much on these. $9.99 in 4 different colorways. You get your 3mm leather cord, and you get your matching colored wire to go with it as well. So the red and gold comes with the red cord and the red wire. The black and blue, which is what we're using right now, does actually come with black wire, but I'm using the sort of ivory colored wire. I have to say, I really love this color combination as well. It's really quite striking. So, you know, mix them up, and you're just going to keep going along until you're ready. Now, what you do need to do is mark. So in my head, what I tend to do is think, okay, I know this needs to taper back down to a finish, and that finish needs to mirror how we started. So I might look at it and think, right, so I want to get to this point. This is how much I'm going to need spare, including a little bit to go into the ends, to taper this back down. So you'll see that we start with it. Sort of, you've got 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and then your 2 and your 3 and your pattern. And then you'll hit a point where you need to bounce it back. So let's open this out so I can show you what I mean by bouncing it back. So you can see here, when you get to, say, this point, we've got 2, then 3. So when I get here, I've got my 2, then 3. I have to kind of bounce it back. So I have to mirror that pattern. So I'm going back down to 2 and then 3, and then reducing it down. So you have to almost change the pattern when you get to the end to be able to taper it down. so that it will then be able to go down and those two ends will come together and you can glue that. So when you'll be very aware when you're doing this, it's very easy to get into that pattern, get carried away. So in my head, if I look at this one, I started here with the 4 and then the 2 and then it goes 2. So I would make sure that when I get to my last sort of 4 of my crystals, I need to go back into the pearls to reverse that pattern down. Hopefully that's making sense, because I know it sounds crazy when you try to explain it. So 1 and 2, we'll just do that in a moment. So we'll get to a point where we can taper it down. It's going to be a very small bracelet, but that's fine. Okay, so going around and going around. So I've got to this point where I've got 2, and I want to go back in with my 4 crystals, and then I'm going to start to reverse it back down. So try and note that point where there's a significant change, which is where we're going to be wanting to go, okay, this is where we need to start to taper it back down. So if I was normally, I would probably do a little bit more, and I'd probably stop at around about here, because visually I can see that that's when it will taper down. It's about the right length. You can measure it, of course, and then I've got enough little bit of cord here to go into my into the finding. So ideally I would continue with this pattern to around about here, then I would taper it down, but just for the sake of the demonstration I'm going to start to taper it down now. So around once and then across. Now I want to start to taper this down. There's 2 things to note. 1, I'm running out of wire, and 2, this is where I want to start to reduce down. So I've got onto here, so technically I'm at this point. Okay, so on my pattern I would now naturally go to the hematite, but because I want to start tapering down, I'm going to, and I want to mirror it, I'm going to put 2 glass beads on. 1 and 2. And now I can, as long as I remember that, I can reference that pattern. So now I'm down to 2 of the discs. Okay, and you'll see it's starting to run out of wire a little bit. So I am going to just wrap this around the top because I'm going to run out. There's not much we can do about it. You just need to blend it in a little bit. So go around the top, give that a little squish. Of course you could, what I probably would do afterwards when it's fully assembled is just take a dab of that glue again and just kind of maybe just put it over that just to prevent any potential wire lifting. And I'm going to take a little bit more of my wire to finish this. I don't need a load. Again, depends on where you need to add wire as to how much you take now. I'm just going to come back in now. I'm going to go back. So I've got to remember the pattern that I've been going. My wire's been going over and across the back, was it? Yes. And then coming down across the front. No, it was, yeah, down across the front. So you just want to try and mirror that pattern. So I'm actually just going to put my wire in the right way. Okay. So I'm looking at the wire. The reason I'm doing is working out. I want that wire to come across the front so we can go up the back, or whichever way you've been working with it. So wrapping that around just a couple of times. The end is just in my hand. I'll cut that in a moment when it's been stable, and I'm just going to wrap once and I can continue my pattern. So 2. So now I've got 2 crystals. So obviously you can see that little section is a little bit more wrapped. You just want to try to minimize it. And ideally I would use a longer piece of wire to try and do it all in one go. But if you do need to add it, I mean, it will blend in. No one's really going to notice. And wrap around. So I've got 2. And now, so I'm down to 2. So now it's 1 glass bead. So I'm going to come in with 1 glass bead. Okay. So again, still making sure it's sitting in that middle. So one and across, one and across. So we're here. So now I've got one hematite disc. Obviously, if anyone's got any questions or comments or tips or anything, you are welcome to say. Everyone's very quiet today. I think it's because we're hitting towards the summer holidays. Maybe people are enjoying that sun, if you're lucky enough to have it. Oh, I see it's coming back out again now. And then I've got one last little crystal here. So I'm going to take that last little section. So I hope that makes sense what I mean by sort of mirroring that design and tapering it back down. And then we're going to go 1, 2. I quite like to go across the back and just support that bead. And then just wrap any wires that you might need to wrap. Okay. You can space them out a little bit. Yeah. I'm going to just cut. Hi, Lisa. How are you? That's okay. You can watch it on the rerun. We are on YouTube, obviously. Okay, so just snipping those edges. So I just cut the tail of the bit that I added in. Again, just going in, making sure that you soften that edge because it is on the cord. I probably would put a dab of the glue on there, but I would wait until it's assembled so I can just put it to one side and it can fully dry. And then it will dry clear, as we've already said. So there's your sort of section. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and undo the tail end that I wrapped around there and just cut that the same way. Okay. And then you need to measure this. Obviously, that's going to be way too long. This has been cut a little bit short for the demo. I would just cut it so you've just got enough that's going to go in, probably about 1 centimetre. And I'm going to do my same trick again, take my glue, sort of a bit cheating, and just dip it into the end there. Probably a little bit too much, but I like to be sure. And then I just tend to keep it all connected together. And then just pop that on, tidy it up. A bit of kitchen roll or a bit of a cotton bud, whatever you want. Give that a little tidy. This is like the child's version, but there you still can see. In fact, that would make quite a cool earring if it was a little bit smaller. It's a statement for sure, but you've got that there, and then I would just put that to one side and let that. So try and clean up any edges, give it a little bit of a clean up so it's nice and clean. You'll see on these ones that it does dry clear and it's absolutely fine. It would be lovely with tiger's eye beads, Lisa. Yeah, definitely. So there you go. That's just basically a little tiny mini version. As I said, it's nice and easy. It's quite a nice relaxing project, I think. And again, stacking them up. These are going to be great stacked together. You can mix those colors up. You can stack them up. Add your beads in the middle if you wanted to. Make a stretchy bracelet with what you've got left. So you don't have to. You've got enough in these kits to be able to make 2 full bracelets and have so much left over. I mean, look at those. Your nose just stacked up. These are the kind of thing for me that you would go in and see in a holiday shop, you know. And you've got hematite here. You've got glass pearls, microfaceted rondelles. So you get that sparkle. And I've just chose to mix these patterns up. You might want to do one just fully stacked with one gemstone. What I like about it is I like the different textures. I like that look. I think it just looks a little bit, it just looks cool. Hi, Trish. Hi, sorry I'm late. I totally forgot I didn't get a notification either. We'll definitely rewatch. And what I'm going to do, just because a couple of you have just joined us a little bit later, I'm just going to take you back over to the website super quick so you can see exactly what it is that we've been doing. But like I said, the bracelets we've been doing are these bracelets here. There's 4 different colorways. Let me pop over and show you what you get and how much it is. So for $9.99, instead of $11.99, you get some 3 mil thick leather cord, copper wire, hematite rondelles, which are 6mm. Well, they're rondelles. I kind of think of them as little discs. I think they're really cute. Your crystal rondelles, which are really tiny and faceted and sparkly. You get your glass pearl 4mm round beads and your kumihimo clasp. You get 2 kumihimo clasps. You get a full strand of each of the beads. You get a matching color wire. So for the red version, you get the red wire and the red cord. And you just have so much left over for $9.99. Absolutely fantastic. Let's take you quickly to the blue and black. Now, I demoed with the blue and black, but I did use the sort of ivory colored wire, and I actually think that looks really cool as well. So, you know, mix these up, have a bit of fun with them. So on this one, again, you get the black cord, the black wire, you get the blue hematite rondelles, crystal rondelles, and of course the glass pearl beads, and you get the 2 kumihimo clasps. For the brown and green, you get the lovely sort of soft greeny toned hematite. They are really lovely, like an olive green. You get the ivory kind of colored wire, you get the brown cord, and again you get your clasps. And then hang on, come on. And then you get the brown and rainbow, which Tris just said, I love the brown and rainbow one. Yeah, you get the brown and rainbow. So you get the brown wire, you get the brown cord, you get the rainbow hematite, and slight nice antique bronze colored glass pearls. So, you know, you get so much. And again, we sort of did the, which was the one we just looked at. Hang on. And then, of course, the red and gold. So those are your 4 versions. I will just look at, I've said the red and gold, but you get the red wire, the red cord, you get the gold coloured hematite discs, you get the gold coloured glass pearls, and like a lovely, really sparkly, dark, browny rondelle. Yeah, very boho indeed. I was saying that these would be absolutely fantastic if you are going on holiday. Great staple make, because I think you wouldn't need, you know, when you're on holiday, for anybody like me, you take all your stuff with you, you've got loads and loads of like clothes and going up for 7 days. But you're like, I'm an options girl. I love to have options. So for me, I think these are absolutely fantastic for these are great, like I say, for that one bracelet covers so many different options. You can stack them up, wear them stacked up on your wrist, make a stretchy bracelet with what you've got left. I've made nearly 2 full bracelets, and I can't even, because I haven't put, but look how much I've got left, you know, there's so much. So I've got, this is just the hematite, so that in itself, stretchy bracelet. So they're, you know, never ending beautiful kits that we've got here. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a great mixed media project, you know, gets you into wire work. We're effectively your channel setting these beads into the cord, which is a really great mixed way of doing it. So yeah, okay, what glue do you use? So I have used a glue. You can use any kind of like super glue, or like a E6000 would work. Your Gorilla Glue. I would say, what I advise, if you watch back at the video, you see I say at the beginning, but I would advise using like a glue that would give you a little bit of time to wiggle and let it set rather than instantly setting. And I would say put the cord end on. So put a cord end onto your wire. I've done one here. So put it on and then let it set. So if you're thinking, I'm going to make some bracelets, I would go ahead, do that on the bracelets, go and have a cup of coffee, wait an hour or 2 and let it set, and then go start working. And then when you've done your bracelet and you add the end again, let that glue set. But what I've actually gone ahead and used is just this, like, it's from Crafters TV, I think. But you can get things like this in the, I know that the range do stock stuff like this as well. And this particular one is called Crafters Pick, and it's called the Ultimate, and you'll see there it just says it's a non-toxic water-based super glue, but this particularly says it adheres to metals, plastic, glass and more. It also dries clear. So that's just one that I happen to, I'm that person, you know, when you go shopping and you're like, oh, just pick things up. So I just, when I was looking for a glue for this, I saw that, I was like, perfect, that's exactly what I need. But just let it dry before you start, because it won't set properly otherwise. Okay, I think I've done everything. I think we've done everything. I hope you've enjoyed this demo. These are beautiful projects. Please go check out Totally Beads website, you know, for these projects and so much more. And I will be back next week. So I'll be seeing you next week. I think I'm going to be doing some macrame next week. Got some really cool projects coming up. A great kids, like a great, I don't want to say kids, a great family inspired project for next in the school holidays, but I will I'll keep that one as a little surprise for you all. Okay,